Hello art friends and welcome back. Now that I'm done with my collage sketchbook, I'm going to page through it in this video so that you can see them all. A good portion of these collages I also did videos on as I was doing them, and I will note those as I go through. This first page I started, actually the first page and the second page I started because I got these beautiful papers with this embedded leaves and sort of natural objects in. And I really wanted to try those out to see if they would work in larger collages. The thing is, the paper was really, really thick. So I discovered that it was really hard to sort of get these to stay down and stay flat. It was like a lot of gel medium to get those down. But I do like how they turned out, and I did actually do a couple of 8-inch square collages using some of that material and paper with the embedded leaves in it. I don't think there's anything particularly special about this collage. I was just playing with some colors. I liked the teal color, and I used some of the metallic copper, which you can see on the shiny paper, as an accent for that. Again, this was some paper that I had gotten in a pack of paper that I purchased online that was more like rice and fiber papers. And I loved these little fuzzy edges that happened. I'm not sure why I did this one bigger, but the collage here is a little bit bigger. Again, thinking about sort of patterns and how I can incorporate those, and this was sort of a negative pattern of the same, so there was a positive and a negative, using those within the same collage. I have two pages of those that I did. And this one I just added a little bit of text, just some really, really short phrases from probably a magazine. You do want to be careful when you're pulling text and stuff from magazines, especially if you are going to display your collages or post them online, so that you don't have any copyright issues. And I think this was actually in the initial collage for the next set of pages that you'll see, which was my blues series. I don't think I recorded this one, or I didn't post this one. Now these next 4 pages are actually collages I did in my blues series, and there is a video on each of these. So this was the first one. This was the second one. This was the third one. And this was the final video that I did in that set. This set of collages and the next one I also did a video on, and the main point of that video was working on collages that have gotten too busy, and I offered a way that I fix those or mitigate some of that busyness. So there was that collage, and then these 2 collages. These next couple of pages are from a series that I started on using black or monochromatic colors. This one is completely monochromatic. I actually used some newspaper, which is not typically something that I would use in a collage, just from a copyright standpoint. Here's another version where I added in some of the sort of bold text writing and a little bit more of the yellow. And then in this final one, I actually pulled in a little bit of this sort of teal turquoisey color and some fabric. So I played a little bit with adding fabric into my collages. And these 3 that I just went through are all in the same video. It's in a video about using black as the primary color. This set of collages was kind of fun. I don't use purple very often, and I kept these and just left them really messy. But I do like some of the elements in these. I do like this sort of white open space, this negative space here, and some of these sort of marks here that happened. So sometimes there's things in collages that I like and I may want to try to reuse or repurpose into future works. These two collages were featured in a video where I talked about doing collages with 5 pieces of paper, only 5 pieces of paper. So that's what was used in these. And this one as well. So these are both on that same video. Here's another one that I did a video on using paper towels. In my studio, I use paper towels that go into towel dispensers like this, and I wipe my wet brush and paint on it and it soaks through, and what happens is that when you open it, and you can't really see it on this one, it will make a pattern all the way through the paper towel. This one you can kind of barely see. And I had some that I thought were really interesting, so I kept them and thought about how I could use them into collage. Now they are paper towels, so they're going to break down probably fairly quickly. So they may not be something you'd want to put in a collage that's going to be something that you want to keep for a long time. But it was fun putting it in there because it does add some texture too. Okay, these two collages were featured in my video where I had gotten some gold leaf, and I was playing with that a little bit to see how I could add that and make that work in collage. So this was a collage that I did as a demo collage for one of my collage workshops. Here's a couple of collages where I played a little bit with making them more landscape-esque by keeping them still abstract, but picking papers and adding marks to make them kind of more fun landscape type collages. I do have a video on these where I did these two. Here is again some playing with a little bit of purple and a metallic paper that I made with some gold. Trying to keep things really, really simple, using complementary colors, sort of purple and yellow, with bold marks and bold patterns. Here's another set of collages that I did with some hand patterned paper. So I painted some paper with some solid colors, and then I came back in and with acrylic markers and either templates or just by hand doodled some marks on them and basically made patterns, and they were all bright fun colors. So I was seeing what I could do with that. They're a little bit busy, probably not my kind of style of collage, but they're fun to play with. Another demo that I did in one of my collage mixed media classes or workshops as a demo. And then of course the final page. That I did just in the most recent video before this. And you could look at it either way, I suppose. I think it works both ways. And I think doing these journals are just a fun way for me to get into my studio and get going and get in that creative flow, and they don't take that long to do. It also helps me use up my huge stash of collage papers that I have. So, you can collect those very quickly. Anyway, it was fun sharing this with you. I hope you all get a chance to do a little collage journal on your own. And I look forward to sharing some of the ones I'm working on for next year when I get that journal started.